In 1922, archaeologists opened a tomb that had been sealed for over 3,000 years. Inside, among the gold and the bones of a king, they found pots of honey. Not fossilized, not rotted, not turned to dust. Still honey, still golden. Still, in theory, edible. 3,000 years. Empires rose and fell. Languages died. And the honey in that jar waited, unchanged, as if time simply did not apply to it. This is the only food on earth that never spoils. And the reason why is stranger than it sounds. Almost everything you eat is slowly dying. Bread grows mold, fruit softens and rots, milk sours in days. Even canned food has an expiry date measured in years. Honey has no expiry date at all. Stored properly, sealed and dry, it will outlast you, your children, and every generation that follows, indefinitely. It is not a trick of modern processing. The honey in that Egyptian tomb had no preservatives, no refrigeration, no help from us. It preserved itself. The question is how a simple sweet liquid does something no other food can. The first secret is water, or rather, the lack of it. Bacteria and mold need water to live. Honey is almost completely dry. It holds less than 18% water, and it is packed so densely with sugar that there is almost nothing left for a microbe to drink. In fact, honey does the opposite of feeding bacteria. It drinks from them. Drop a bacterium into honey, and the sugar pulls the water straight out through its cell walls. The microbe shrivels and dies of thirst, surrounded by sweetness. The second secret is acid. Honey is surprisingly sour beneath its sweetness, with a pH around 3.9, close to vinegar or tomato juice. Most bacteria simply cannot grow in something that acidic. And then there is the third secret, and it is the strangest of all. Because the bee itself builds a weapon into every drop. To understand honey, you have to understand that it does not exist in nature. Flowers make nectar, a thin, watery, sugary liquid. Honey is what bees turn that nectar into, through a process that is part chemistry, part sheer labor. A bee drinks nectar into a special second stomach, where enzymes begin breaking the complex sugars into simpler ones. Back at the hive, she passes it mouth to other bees, each adding more enzymes. Then they spread it across the honeycomb and beat their wings over it, thousands of tiny fans, evaporating the water until the thin nectar thickens into dense, finished honey. Nectar is around 80% water. Honey is under 20. The bees remove the rest by hand, so to speak, one wing beat at a time. When a bee gathers nectar, it doesn't just carry it home, it changes it. Inside the bee's honey stomach is an enzyme called glucose oxidase. As the bee processes the nectar, that enzyme quietly sets up a slow chemical reaction, one that will release tiny, continuous amounts of hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is a disinfectant, the same thing you'd pour on a cut. The bee builds a low-dose antiseptic directly into the honey, and it keeps releasing, slowly, for as long as the honey exists. Put these three defenses together, and you have a food that is almost impossible to spoil. Too dry for microbes, too acidic for bacteria, and laced with a self-renewing disinfectant. This is why, long before antibiotics, humans used honey as medicine. The ancient Egyptians packed wounds with it. So did the Greeks and the Romans. They didn't know about hydrogen peroxide or osmosis. They only knew that a wound sealed in honey often didn't turn bad. They were right. Modern hospitals have circled back to it. Medical-grade honey is used today on burns and stubborn wounds that resist ordinary treatment. But there is a catch. That self-preserving power depends on one condition. The honey must stay sealed. Honey is hygroscopic. It pulls moisture out of the air. Leave the jar open in a humid kitchen, and it slowly absorbs water. Once enough water creeps in, the sugar concentration drops, the defenses weaken, and wild yeasts that were dormant can finally wake up and ferment it. Sealed, honey is eternal. Left open, it can eventually spoil like anything else. Its immortality is real, but it is conditional. If honey never spoils, then why does the jar in your cupboard turn solid, pale, and grainy? That is crystallization, and it is not spoilage. It is honey doing exactly what a supersaturated sugar solution wants to do. Honey holds more sugar than water should physically be able to dissolve. It is unstable by nature. Over time, some of that sugar, mostly the glucose, gives up and falls out of the liquid, forming tiny crystals. The honey turns cloudy, then firm. It has not gone bad. It has simply changed shape. The fix is almost insultingly simple. Warm it gently. Set the jar in warm water, not boiling, and the crystals dissolve back into liquid gold, good as new. One warning though, never overheat honey and never microwave it to death. Excessive heat destroys the delicate enzymes, including the one that makes the hydrogen peroxide, and degrades the compounds that made honey special in the first place. Gentle warmth revives it, high heat guts it. There is one more thing hiding in raw honey, and it is a warning, not a wonder. Raw honey can carry dormant spores of a bacterium called Clostridium botulinum. For adults and older children, this is harmless. The gut handles it easily. But an infant's gut cannot. This is why honey must never be given to a baby under 12 months old. The same food that heals adult wounds can seriously harm a newborn. Simple things are rarely as simple as they look. Step back and consider what honey actually is. It is the only food humans eat that is made by another animal specifically as a food store, and then taken. A single worker bee produces about 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey in her entire lifetime. To fill one standard jar, bees collectively visit millions of flowers and fly a distance that, added up, could circle the earth several times. Every spoonful is the compressed labor of thousands of insects and an almost unimaginable number of flowers. We stir it into tea without a thought. And honey is a record. A jar of honey is a chemical snapshot of a specific place and a specific season, which flowers were blooming, in which fields, in which weeks. This is why honey tastes different everywhere. Acacia honey is pale and mild. Buckwheat honey is dark and malty. Manuka from New Zealand carries an unusually strong antibacterial punch and sells for extraordinary prices. The bee doesn't invent the flavor. It concentrates the landscape. Here is a final humbling detail. Bees have been making honey this way for tens of millions of years, long before humans existed. Fossilized bees preserved in amber, over 100 million years old, are already built for the job. We did not invent honey. We did not improve it. We simply found something perfect, already finished, and reached in to take it. Because honey preserved itself, ancient cultures decided it must be divine. In many civilizations, it became the food of the gods, quite literally. The Egyptians offered honey to their deities and used it to embalm their dead, trusting its incorruptible nature to guard the body in the afterlife. In ancient Greece, it was called the nectar of the gods and fed to Olympic athletes for strength. Hindu texts listed among the 5 elixirs of immortality. And in cultures from Africa to the Balkans, blocks of honeycomb and sweetness were traded as currency and given as sacred gifts. A food that would not die became everywhere humans found it, a symbol of eternal life. They were reading the chemistry as a message from the heavens. But there is a shadow behind all this sweetness, and it is the most important part of the whole story. The bee that makes your honey is also the creature that makes your food possible. As bees travel flower to flower gathering nectar, they carry pollen with them, fertilizing the plants they visit. Roughly 1/3 of everything humans eat depends on this pollination. Apples, almonds, coffee, berries, countless vegetables. Honey is the sweet, visible gift. Pollination is the invisible one, and it is worth far more. A world without bees would not just lose honey. It would lose whole shelves of the supermarket. So the next time you open a jar, remember what you are holding. A food too dry to rot, too acidic to spoil. armed with a disinfectant made by an insect, a chemical portrait of a field that no longer exists, called divine by every ancient culture that tasted it, and made by the small creature our entire food supply quietly leans on. Honey isn't just a sweetener. It is the only food on Earth that literally never spoils. Honey preserves itself. But long before honey was common, humans were desperate for something else entirely. A mineral so vital that people were paid in it, taxed for it, and willing to march to war over it. It sits on your table right now, costing almost nothing. It once cost as much as gold. Next time, the crystal that built cities, funded armies, and hides inside the word salary simply doesn't see it coming.